This is a lease agreement. Lease agreement. This is for the purpose of references for them who want to learn how to draft a lease agreement. In a lease agreement, there is a requirement of details of lessor, lessor and lessee. Lessor and lessee. It means the person who execute, who want to give his property or her property for a lease is recognized as a lessor, and the person who wants to take the occupancy on the property is known as a lessee. In other words, the person who wants the property leased in his or her favor is known as a lessee. Now, at the first threshold in drafting of the lease agreement, the detailed descriptions of the lessor and lessee is required at the first threshold. Thereafter, the description of leased premises, descriptions of leased premises. So, description of leased premises means the property which is going to be the material of the said lease deed. So, the details of the property is required to give. Thereafter, the purpose of the lease. The purpose of the lease means the party being the lessee intends to use for what purpose? For a commercial purpose, meaning thereby for the business, for the factory, for the godown, for the office premises, etc., etc., or for the domestic purpose, for the purpose of this residing over, for the purpose of domicile in nature. So therefore the purpose must be specified in the lease. So what is the use of the lease premises? It should be given into the draft of the lease deed or lease agreement. Thereafter the terms of lease. What would be the terms of the lease? So the terms should be specified between the parties to be acted upon. Thereafter the base rent. What would be the rent per month, per annum, whatever it may be, that must be decided between the parties. What would be the base rent for the such occupation and being the consideration of the use of the said leasehold property. Thereafter, the parties may keep the option to renew. Lease may not renew, lease may be renewed. Whatever it may be, the option must be given. Thereafter, the expenses and the modification, and thereafter the details regarding the security deposit. At the first threshold, what would be the deposit as a security money in respect of the leasehold property between the parties. Thereafter, leasehold improvement. Leasehold improvement should be content. Thereafter, license and permit. Party should describe regarding this aspect also. Thereafter, the obligation of lessee. What would be the obligation of lessee? That should be described in detail. Thereafter, license and permit. License and permit, the nature, the category, the specification should be given. Thereafter, obligations of lessee. The obligation of lessee should be given. Thereafter, regarding the insurance, it should be there. Thereafter, the sublet or assignment. Regarding this aspect, the party should contend. The lessee would sublet or not, or he should assign the leasehold property or not. It should be contained. Damage to lease premises. Now it should be given. Damage to leased premises, if occurred, if happened, then what would be between the parties? Default and possession should be contained. Thereafter, indemnification by the parties. Thereafter, the contents of the bankruptcy insolvency of either of the parties of the said lease agreement. Thereafter, subordinate and attornment. Subordinate and attornment should be given. Miscellaneous terms other than those specified, if there is some other terms and contentions between the parties, it could be included in miscellaneous terms. Estoppel certificate should be given by the parties. The contents of the waiver, governing law, the notices would be given into the sale lease agreement. The contents of the amendment and binding effect would be given, and thereafter the signature between the party would be given, and thereafter drafted and prepared by the learned advocate, and the last being known as a brief cover would be given. So this is the contention and a little clarification, a little knowledge on draft of the lease agreement with this contention and